Welcome to our International School Showcase. I'm going to let everyone load in to make sure that we have a full list of attendees for our wonderful schools that are presenting this evening. This is our last presentation of this evening. We are in day 3 of the CUSD Virtual College Fair for 2021. This showcase I am so excited for because we have international schools represented from so many different countries. We're going to be talking and hearing from representatives about their campus, their international experience, and what you can expect if you're going to be applying to their particular program or school. My name is Kristen Jones Manning. I am a part of the CUSD-Futureology team that has organized the college fair. If you have questions for our team, you are more than welcome to put those in the Q&A as well, and we'll try to field them as our presenters actively present. So just a heads up and some basic housekeeping information. This is a webinar platform. So this presentation is actively being recorded. It will be uploaded to our website at the conclusion of the College Fair week. It will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel. If you'd like notifications about when new videos are posted, subscribing to our YouTube channel is the easiest way to do that. All attendees are muted and your video has been disabled. That means that we cannot see or hear you, but we can see that you're here. If you would like to submit a question to any of the representatives that are here this evening, please feel free to click on that Q&A button, the icon at the bottom of your screen. We will either try to answer your questions live if you have a question for the group, or within the Q&A window if that's a little bit easier. In your Calendly registration for this event and all events related to the fair, there is a small post survey that will be sent at the conclusion of this presentation. If you have a moment, please feel free to complete that for us. It helps make sure that we plan sessions and breakouts and presentations that are relevant and exciting for you as we think about what we're going to do for the college fair next year. So let's talk about a little bit of what a showcase looks like. So a showcase structure is a rapid fire highlight presentation. Each school will present for approximately 6 minutes. We are the last presentation this evening, so we definitely have a little bit more flexibility on that timeline tonight. Please feel free to take notes of any schools that interest you. You can collect college rep information, their emails, the way to get a hold of them. And of course, if you have questions that are specific to a particular campus who's joining us tonight, please feel free to include their school name in your questions. That makes it much easier to filter through in the Q&A, and we'll be able to get to those at the end of our presentation this evening. I'm going to pass it off to our first school, and they are going to start our presentation, which is the University of Glasgow, in just one moment.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristen. And hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Warmington. I'm the Senior International Officer for the University of Glasgow. I'm based in Orange County and act as a local point of contact for all students in the west of US. So tonight I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of the University of Glasgow. Next, please. So the University of Glasgow was founded in 1451. We are the 4th oldest university in the English-speaking world. We actually have over 30,000 students, but what's really cool about that student body is that it's made up of over 140 nationalities. So we have a great global community on campus. Over 30% of our students actually come from overseas. We are a member of the Russell Group universities in the UK, and we do offer mostly 4-year degree programs, as you'll find across the board with most Scottish universities. Awesome. Next slide, please. Great. And so I always like to say that Scotland is fantastic for a student who has a sense of adventure. If you ask a University of Glasgow student what their favorite hobby is, they will 8 times out of 10 tell you that they love to travel. Scotland is full of, enriching activities, such as if you love to get outdoors, there's so many mountain climbing, hiking, winter sports, and then that doesn't even scratch the surface of other areas like arts and culture. So if you like live music, theater, etc., there's so much to take in. Our university is located in the city of Glasgow, which is the largest city in Scotland and the 4th largest in the UK. Glasgow is a very fun city. It's a city with a pulse. It has a large student population. We have over 30,000 students at the University of Glasgow, but we're one of 6 colleges and universities in the city. So it's a very student-friendly place. On average, there are 150 music events that take place across the city every week, so there's always something going on. Our campus is located in the west of the city. So in the West End, this is a cultural corner of Glasgow. It's where our campus is. It's where most of our students will be living as well. So more independently owned places and fewer chain restaurants, that sort of thing. But in terms of what you can study, we actually have over 300 degree combinations on offer. Next slide, please. So for the most part, I would say that we perform quite well in our STEM fields, but if I had to cherry pick a few across the board, I would say business management, computing sciences, engineering, international relations, and psychology are amongst some of our most popular degree majors. But there's so many different joint majors, major minor options, and plenty that can offer you flexibility and choice. What's really cool about studying in Scotland is that although we have a 4-year degree structure, you actually study your major from day one, and there are no general education or core curriculum requirements. So it's great for a student who knows what they want to study, but you still also have the opportunity to have some flexibility and take some other subjects of your choosing as well outside of your major. But moving on now to the entry requirements, we actually accept some, so we normally look for test scores. So usually we're asking for 3 test scores in total. So students can apply with the SAT of 1280 or above, ACT of 27 or above, and APs at 4 or above. It's really common for students to apply with the SAT or the ACT in addition to 2 AP scores, or you can apply with just 3 APs. And that's just in my next slide there. And I'll also put the links into the chat afterwards to make sure you have all of this at your fingertips. We are test optional, so for any students who have fewer than 3 test scores, you can certainly still apply, and we'll just be looking through your transcript to make sure that you have over a 3.5 GPA unweighted, and we'd be looking for you to have relevant coursework in advanced studies such as honors, AP, dual enrollment. So just feel free to visit that link that's on that page, and I'll put it in the chat in just a moment as well. But rounding up just on my next slide here, we do have some scholarships available for our students. Our main one would be our Merit Award, which is you are automatically assessed for that. It's purely based on academic merit, and it's valued at $10,000, and it comes as a tuition discount. Our tuition starts at around 25,000 US dollars per year, but we do accept US federal loans. But other than that, I'd also like to add that all international students are guaranteed accommodation. Most of our housing options are going to be located around our campus within about a 15-minute walk. The city of Glasgow is a very affordable place to live as well. You can usually get by on just around £1,000 in terms of budgeting and for your living costs, etc. But some great resources. So I highly recommend that you check out our YouTube channel. Our students create vlogs on all things student life. You can tour our campus. You can look through our accommodation. You can get to know our student clubs and societies, of which we have over 250. There's so much to do in the city of Glasgow, and our students are very active and involved with student life and clubs and societies. So certainly check it out, but thank you all so much for listening, and I will now pass it over.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for having us tonight. So exciting to be able to share a little more about studying internationally. So I'm Amanda Lundberg. I'm an international officer with the University of Roehampton London. As you can see from my accent, I am not from the UK, but I did live there for 12 years and just fell in love with it and miss living there every day. So I love getting to talk about studying and living in the UK. On the next slide, we're going to jump right in and look at some fast facts here. So we have a very diverse student population with just over 12,000 students enrolled in total. That includes undergrad and postgrad, of whom 28% are from outside of the UK, which represent about 146 nationalities. So we just love the diversity that we have on campus. Also, about 93% of our students are in either further education or within employment after graduation, which we're proud of those statistics too, because getting a good job afterwards is always going to be important. We've got 6 academic departments across 4 historic colleges, which we'll look at in a moment, and we're ranked 5th amongst London universities for student satisfaction. We're very much a research-led university. We've been voted as the #1 modern university in London for quality of research, and also most research-intensive modern university in the UK. So we're really proud of the world-class standard of research that goes on campus. On the next slide, we're going to look at our proximity to central London and just where we're located, so you can kind of picture where we are. So we're just down the River Thames from London's popular tourist attractions, which you can see there kind of in the middle of the map towards the right. But we're also very near Wimbledon, so if you like tennis, that's a great place to be located. And we're across from Richmond Park, which is one of London's 8 royal parks and the largest of the royal parks. Thus our parkland setting, as we like to advertise. Public transportation in London is fantastic, and it's very much part of the culture. So you won't need a car to get around to all these places. You'll have a huge variety of buses and trains and trams and tubes and all sorts of things to get you around. And we also have a free university bus that will take you over to Wimbledon if you want to get onto the tube. That's our closest tube stop, as well as up into central London as well. So you don't have to pay a lot for that. But on the next slide, we're going to look at some of our degree programs. So sorry, the font's kind of small here, but we've got a lot of programs and they're evolving all the time. So make sure you do check out our website if some of these are not coming through clearly enough for you tonight. But as my colleagues already mentioned, Ashley said, that degree programs do differ across. So in Scotland, they're different from England. So in England, they're going to be 3-year long programs typically. So you could have two degrees in the time it takes you to get one here in the US, which is exciting. And then these are the 6 academic departments that you can kind of that you'll be able to choose your academic program from. But like I said, they're always evolving. So for example, we're adding 22 new programs next September, which is really exciting. One of those being a liberal arts degree, there's not very many of those across the UK. So we're really proud to be offering that for American students specifically. You can choose a single subject here, or you can combine some of these in joint honors, which is always great if you do have an interest in similar programs, similar subjects within a discipline. But with no general education requirements, the UK degrees are very much focused and specialized. They're academically challenging and very rewarding. So next up, we're going to look at how to apply. This will kind of apply to some of my colleagues too, so hopefully you can kind of make use of that. But UCAS is kind of the UK version of Common App. You can apply to 5 universities at once, and what you do is you make one application and you can send it to 5 different schools, or you can also apply for free online on our website, because UCAS does have a small fee to pay. It's between $35 and $40. It's not very much, but if you did only have 1 or 2 schools in mind, it may be worth applying directly. And then what we're looking for as far as like with your application, of course, we're going to look at your high school transcripts. First of all, we really want to see your GPA mostly. We are completely test optional. And if you've taken your test, we'll welcome you to submit those. But if you haven't, it's not going to hurt you if you haven't taken those. And there's a couple of subject areas that we'll ask for a particular grade in the relevant subject area. But other than that, we won't require any standardized tests in that way. A personal statement and recommendation letters. So personal statement's the only thing that's pretty different from the US applications for colleges here. We really do want to know your motivation for studying. We want to get to know you, but we really want to know what is it about your subject that is interesting to you? What is it that's motivating you to study in another country or your particular program in itself? So that's going to be the key difference there when you make your application. And then kind of moving over to costs and funding there. In terms of overall cost, we're very affordable, especially considering you're saving a year of tuition. You're going to be saving a year of your life as well, the 3-year programs. We have numerous scholarships, as you can see here. Most of our US students do qualify for 1 or more of these scholarships. And the merit-based scholarship is one that you don't have to apply for. You'll be automatically assessed, and that is based on your GPA. So typically, if you have a GPA of 3.3 or higher, you will be receiving some sort of merit-based scholarship, which is wonderful. But you can see the fees there and how they compare to some in-state, out-of-state, and private options, and how affordable it can be to study in the UK. And of course, we do accept FAFSA federal loans as well. So that's nice to kind of lock in that lower interest rate and pay with your home currency. On the final slide here, we're just going to look at what we've got going on campus. So we've got, of course, you would expect to have a great student life, a great social life while you're in college, and you won't be disappointed here either, no matter what you're into. So whether you want to play sports, as you can see, we've got a few to offer here, whether you want to be able to do volunteering or have a great nightlife. The societies on campus are a fantastic way to get involved as well. And these are going to range hugely from academically based subjects, societies, to more hobby-based or even cultural language societies. We also do have a multi-faith chaplaincy as well. So no matter what you want to keep going, to keep doing, or to even to discover in university, we're going to be able to help you find that. But the biggest thing to note here is just the ethos at Roehampton. So it is very much based on social justice and equality. We're really proud of the diversity on campus, and we do put all of our students on an equal playing field across university life, whether it's in academia or in your social life as well. And then just a final note on the sports there. So you can see the competitive sports. These, you also can play these for fun. You don't have to necessarily need to compete in them. But the biggest one to mention, to note here, is our brand new study play program, where we have partnered up with Crystal Palace, a professional league, a professional club in London. And what basically the way it works is you'll be playing with them, training with them while you're studying with us. So it's a really cool partnership that we're really excited about. And hopefully you'll be able to check that out if you're a soccer player. And just a final note here, just to kind of explain how housing works. So all of our housing is on campus, especially we've got a single campus. So it's great that everything's in one place. And we do guarantee housing for US students and international students. And we offer single occupancy rooms with the option of ensuite private bathrooms, and all of our halls do have shared kitchens, and it's pretty much standard across the UK. I'm sure you'll hear it a few more times tonight, but it's a great way to have an independent lifestyle, save a little bit of money while you're cooking for yourself, and get to know people from all over the UK as well as all over the world. So a little bit about Roehampton there. I will put my details in the chat now. If you have any questions, be happy to help. But thanks so much for having us tonight, and good luck with your college search.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriella, and I'm the Americas and Caribbean Regional Officer at Middlesex University, London. I'm based in New York, and basically I help students and families navigate the application process. I was a student at Middlesex as well, so I'm a very genuine believer in British higher education, as you can see. So let's get started with our presentation and see how I can hopefully motivate you to study in the UK. All right, so this is some facts regarding Middlesex University in numbers. Our population in London is about 20,000 students, and that's in our London campus alone, because we have two other campuses, which are in Mauritius and in Dubai. Over 140 countries are represented in our students and staff, including myself. So it's a very multicultural, multi-ethnical city and environment as well. It's just a reflection of what London is. We have 300 programs at undergraduate and postgraduate level in 3 faculties, which are art and creative industries, professional and social sciences, and faculty of science and tech. So very likely, whichever program you want to study, we will have it. So go on our website, check our courses, and hopefully you'll find the one that you wish to study. We have over 140 years of teaching. So we are considered a modern university, and we're classified as a modern university. However, we do have over 140 years of teaching experience. And the student to lecturer ratio is actually 18:1, which is perfect. We also have a mixture of seminars and lectures, as my colleagues explained before, which is very typical in the UK. And that really helps students have bigger crowds and also smaller crowds in their classes. We can move on to the next slide. So Middlesex is located in northwest London. It's about a 20 minutes into central London by tube. It's located in an area, or the neighborhood basically, is called Hendon, which is residential. It's quite suburban. In my personal opinion, it's the best of both worlds because you are living in London, your doorstep's from central London where you can spend a good portion of your time, yet in an area where accommodation and other amenities are a little bit more affordable. We also get to have a big campus that has green areas and sport facilities. So that's great. Next slide, please. So these are typical entry requirements. Basically, you're going to need at least a 3.0 GPA plus ACTs, APs, or ACTs, SATs, or APs, AP exams. And for any of you who haven't been able to take any standardized tests, don't worry, we're assessing those on a case-by-case basis. When it comes to art and design and performing arts programs, you will need a portfolio audition or interview, and STEM programs will require at least 2 APs in the area of your major. So keep that in mind if you want to study at Middlesex on a STEM degree. You will need those AP exams. If you fail to meet any of this criteria, you can be admitted for an integrated foundation year, which is a year 0 that basically prepares you to successfully start year 1. And very important, you can apply on UCAS. It's the Universities and Colleges Admissions Service, UCAS.com. So we offer up to £5,000 towards the deduction of your first year's tuition fees. Currently, tuition fees for bachelor degrees at Middlesex are £14,000. So that's a scholarship of about a third of your fees. This requires a separate application form after receiving an offer of place at the course. So please apply to the university first and then apply to a scholarship. Overall, education in the UK can be very affordable even without a scholarship because students can work. Tuition fees are generally more affordable than US and out-of-state options. And you can use federal and private US loans, FAFSA loans basically, to study abroad as well. This leads me to my last slide. So please stay in touch with me. You can scan the QR code and fill out that contact form, email me, take a screenshot, or click on the links that I'll leave on the chat shortly. Thank you very much.
Bonsoir, good evening. My name is Jen Boucher, and I'm the Deputy Director of U.S. Admissions for the American University of Paris, but I'm also based in California. So same state, same time zone, always happy to help you. So I would be your counselor from this point all the way through to orientation. First of all, AUP is actually a private, urban, liberal arts American university that happens to be located in Paris, France. So all the classes are in English. We offer 4-year, fully accredited American degrees, but like I said, we're in Paris. So think American education in that European location and lifestyle. Overall, we have over 1,000 students from 100 countries. So no matter which class setting you're in, you're going to gain those very diverse perspectives that are not only based on students' research, but also based on their backgrounds, their beliefs, their upbringing, the different cultures they come from, and what makes them who they are today. About half our students do come from the US, but at the same time, many of them are dual citizens, multilingual, well-traveled. So there's usually an international aspect to our students. And even if they haven't studied abroad before or even left the country, that's totally fine. But we look for students who have that genuine desire for a global career and want to be a student and a local in a brand new city. We have 26 majors and 39 minors. These are in the fields of business, politics, communications, arts, and humanities, all with an international emphasis. So you can double major, add a minor, change your major, enter undeclared, transfer in credits. So lots of terminology that you're used to hearing from an American point of view. Along with that, we have some minors that are not majors. So things like fashion studies, sociocultural anthropology, theater, or French, to name a few. But keep in mind that we are really big on experiential learning. So you'll find that many classes actually take you out into the city or the world in some cases to explore. For example, we have study trips. Those are where students travel all over the world with their professor and classmates to experience what they are learning in the classroom in person. Shakespeare in London, psychology in Cairo, film in the Netherlands, art in Venice, politics in Israel are a few of the 45 trips we offer per year. But we also offer cultural excursions, which are fun trips mainly throughout France, ranging from a theater performance or a perfume making class in Paris. But we also have opportunities for students to visit for longer periods, so maybe Normandy or Nice for the weekend. Now, we're located in the heart of Paris, France. I will say the photo here looks a little different. I think maybe, not sure what happened there, but overall, we are located in the 7th arrondissement, that is the 7th neighborhood, the same neighborhood as the Eiffel Tower. If you were to look at a map of the 7th arrondissement, you'd see there's a building with a gold dome on top. That is Hôtel des Invalides, where Napoleon's buried, and we're located right in between those two major landmarks. So it is an open urban campus where you're truly woven right into the city with that beautiful French architecture on the outside, but the modern classroom on the inside. Now it's about a 15-minute walk if you were to go across the furthest points of campus, but usually 5 or 10-minute walking distance between classes. So everything's very condensed. We're also surrounded by various businesses, cafes, restaurants, apartments, and museums. Now, when you apply to AUP, these are the application requirements. You can apply via the common application or apply to AUP directly. We also require 2 essays, 2 letters of rec, transcripts, and activities list. We are test optional, always have been even before COVID-19, and the average GPA is 3.3 unweighted. I highly recommend that when you apply to AUP, that you mention anything international about your background, your career goals, your interests, just so we get a sense of how much of a global explorer you already are, but also how much more you want to develop into one in the future. Now to conclude here, 94% of our students have a job or are in grad school within 1 year of graduation. 80% report an international element to their career, and 50% report that a professor personally mentored them on their career path. So we are a smaller university with that huge impact on students. We have 20,000 alumni in 145 countries all over the world, and they are working at companies like Chanel, Google, or the United Nations. So this international environment at the American University of Paris truly prepares students for a global career. So merci for your interest in going abroad. It's a wonderful experience, and I'll turn it over to the next presenter.
Awesome, thanks Jen. Hi everyone, my name is Micah Sharman. I'm the Associate Director for IE University. I am also located in one of our headquartered offices here in Los Angeles, California. I'm also an alum, so I've moved to Spain, didn't speak any Spanish, and happened to live there for 5 years and miss it very, very much. Next slide. So just a couple quick facts about Spain. Spain is basically like the California of Europe. There's beaches, there's mountains, there's rivers, there's wine country. There's a lot more vibrant and diversity in terms of nightlife. It's extremely international as well. And it's the second biggest country in the EU, as well as the second most visited country in the world after France. Next slide, please. So diving a little bit deeper into IE, it's unique that we have 2 campuses in one country. So the first campus that we have is in Segovia. Segovia is a really, really old city. It's one of the oldest cities in Spain. Our campus was built in 1218, and it's a higher up in elevation. So you'll get more of the mountain ranges, views, creeks, a lot of beautiful parks, and of course, the vibrant nightlife of Spain. But our campus is protected by the United Nations because it is a World UNESCO site. So anyone looking to become an ambassador, work for embassies, or anything international relations related, we have a partnership with them and you'll be doing a lot of research projects. And then our other campus is in Madrid, which is the capital of Spain. We do have something called the IE Tower. It's the first and only high-rise university in all of Europe and the third tallest university in the world. Of course, the capital of Spain is a bit more urban. There's museums, parks, many, many things to do for anyone looking to do anything. Next slide, please. It's not moving for me. Anyways, so diving a little bit deeper into IE, we are incredibly global. All of your degrees are recognized globally. So if you want to work in another country, you may absolutely do so. If you want to come back to the States, you can. The pillars that IE was built on was entrepreneurship. We actually have something called Area 31. It's an incubator or an entrepreneurial hub. We have investors from all over the world come and invest in our students' companies, so they will graduate with their own companies. We've got a lot of companies recruiting from around the world also for IE. Sorry, the slides are all messed up. But what we're really known for is our practical teaching methodology, which I think you'll probably hear from a lot of the schools in Europe. It's really to connect your academics with professional development, as well as incorporating technology and innovation, humanities and sustainability. We are highly ranked. We're the #1 university in Spain, top 10 in Europe and top 20 worldwide. And next slide. So we do have 6 schools. So these are going to be the degrees that we offer. We do offer 4-year single degrees and then 5-year dual degrees. The reason why they are 5-year dual degrees is because you're graduating with 2 diplomas. So it's not like a major and a minor, and it will give you a lot more access and flexibility in terms of moving forward when things are being disrupted in the world. We are extremely international. We're the most international school in mainland Europe. We've got over 75% international students, over 140 nationalities on campus, over 45 languages spoken on campus, but all of our programs are indeed taught in English. And we accept over 50 different kinds of education systems. So whether you're studying the American diploma with APs, IB diploma, et cetera, we have different admissions requirements for you. And I'll get into that in a couple slides. But next slide, please. So the idea of coming to IE is choosing a background or a program. You're going to be studying that from day one, so no general elective education courses. But the idea is we want you to figure out a lot of opportunities to build what you're passionate with the background that you're going to have. And there are several ways that we do this. One, we do it through different electives and advanced seminars. So if you're somebody, for example, who might be studying communications, but you're really interested in crypto, you can take extra cryptocurrency classes, et cetera. We also have an honors program where you get to network with CEOs from around the world. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you're welcome to do that. We offer mentorship, corporate mentors. So if you are kind of beelining it to a specific pathway, you can ask that from year 1. We do international exchanges, so you can do 1 or 2 semesters abroad, or you can mix and match and do 1 semester abroad and then a paid internship in a different country. And then for students for their first and second year, we actually offer IE labs, which are on-campus internships where companies come to us. You get to work in their different departments, learn whatever it is that you're interested in, and start adding those experiences to your resume. Next, and I think the final slide. So just really quickly going over the admissions steps. We are available on Common App or our website. Either there's no difference, so you can apply it on either or. We've always accepted the SATs and ACTs and the LNATs. Again, we're super global, but if you haven't had the opportunity to take those or you're not happy with your scores, you can still apply with our very own admissions test. It's a test you don't have to study for. The idea was to make it accessible for everybody globally to take it. It measures your English level, which I don't think anybody here will have issues with. But really what it does is it just measures how you learn. So most students prefer to take our test. We also have an online assessment, which is just the 3 questions that are open-ended and they're recorded, and then the personal interview. And then we usually, next step after you finally hear back, we do offer financial aid, and that's direct entry. We've got over 21 different scholarships that you can choose from, and you can choose up to 3. And we always give it back in a percentage. They could be needs or merit-based. Of course, we've got a vibrant campus life, many clubs, extracurriculars. job fairs, all that fun stuff. But I think that will be it for me. I am here to help you if you do need anything at all. So I'll drop my info in the chat and I look forward to staying in touch.
Thanks, Micah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Monahan. I am the in-country officer for King's College London. I'm based in the States, the East Coast of the States. I will also be putting my contact info in the chat for everyone after this, but we'll get started just after I mention that this is one of our King's campuses on the slide here. I will go through some more information about our other 4 campuses that we have, but this is our Strand campus, sort of our most picturesque one, I suppose, or my opinion, but you can see how it's situated within the greater London landscape with Big Ben, the House of Parliament, the River Thames, the London Eye just in the backdrop. Next slide, please. So to go into a little bit of history about King's, we were founded in 1829 by King George IV and the Duke of Wellington, who was the Prime Minister at the time. We were one of the founding colleges of the University of London, with whom we still maintain some ties to this day. And now we are a member of the Russell Group. So we are part of, or one of the 24 public research universities in the UK. So research is obviously very important to us and something that we value highly. And we try to incorporate or allow students to have the opportunity to participate in at the undergraduate level. So hopefully they can produce some sort of a research portfolio upon graduation. We are ranked number 35 in the world, 7 in the UK, and 3 in London, according to QS, and that is just one ranking system. So if rankings are important to you, I would highly encourage you to look into that and other rankings systems criteria that are out there as well. But we are proud of that heritage that we have almost 200 years later. And we are the 4th oldest university in England. So something else I want to make note of is this 93% of our graduates being employed or furthering their education upon graduating from King's. So when we think about this return on investment that goes into an international education, and it is a time investment, it is a financial investment. So to be able to put that high percentage on there of 93%, I think is very important for future students, counselors, carers to consider when looking into universities overseas. Next slide, please. Okay, so our campus community at King's, we are a large urban campus. We have 36,000 students at the undergraduate and postgraduate level, and about 16,000 of them are international. So nearly half of our student population is international, and we represent over, or they represent over 150 countries across the globe. So again, this is very representative of the City of London, very diverse, very multicultural, and we'd like to fit into that campus community and reflect that. So about 1,200 students join us from the US every year, which is actually a pretty large percentage or a pretty large number of international students that are represented on campus as part of that international population. We also have a lot of student activities on campus. Our Students' Union is the oldest in the UK, and we have over 300 activities, societies, volunteer opportunities, sports clubs, ways for you to get involved and really just give back to the campus community and ultimately spend time with people outside of those who you're going to be taking your classes with around the clock for your 3-year undergraduate program. And we also have over 10,000 alumni across the globe. So what this means for prospective students is having 10,000 plus people in our global alumni network just means that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to lean on, for students to lean on after graduating. And that could mean, you know, having friends that are all the way across the globe in Australia or in Latin America, for example, or perhaps staying in the UK and taking advantage of the the graduate route visa that is available to UK students who graduate, or going back home and starting, you know, a chapter of the King's Global Alumni Network wherever you land in the state. So lots of different opportunities for you to give back and continue that cycle to future King's students. Next slide, please. Great. And then our academics at King's, we have 9 faculties, 175 programs at the undergraduate level. You can only apply to our undergraduate programs through UCAS, and that is something that you're just going to have to familiarize yourself with, and if you're interested in any UK university. But our most popular programs are those within life sciences. We have our medicine program in there. Law, we have a joint LLB JD joint program with Columbia or with Georgetown. So it's a 4-year degree. It's not a 3-year undergraduate program if you choose that track. Business is very popular. Computer science is growing in popularity in our natural and math sciences. It's hard to see, but we have a social science and public policy faculty, which houses our war studies program, which is very popular. Nursing is obviously something that we are very proud of at King's, and then also psychiatry, psychology, and neuroscience. So some of those are kind of hard to make out, but again, I'll put my contact details for you to get in touch. We do accept FAFSA, and we also do provide international student scholarships. So yeah, please get in touch if you're interested in getting some more info about either of those. Next slide, please. Okay, so for US undergraduates, our entry requirements, we accept a few different routes. We accept the IB, we'd be looking for 35 points overall, the French baccalaureate. We also accept the US high school qualifications, AP, SAT, ACT. So we'd be looking for at least 3 AP subjects, and those are going to vary in terms of what scores you need to get on those APs. Those vary by program. So you basically have one of 3 routes if you're joining us, or if you're applying with the US high school qualification. So it would either be 5 APs total, or 3 APs in the SAT, or 3 APs and the ACT. So again, those requirements are going to vary by program in terms of what scores, but the number of scores is the same across the board. I'm good, but I'm not so good that I know all of the requirements for every single program. If you're applying to medicine, you will have to provide a UCAT score. If you are applying to law, you will have to provide an LNAT score. Subject requirements may apply to different programs, but again, just take a look at our program pages and get in touch if I can help you navigate those pages at all. Next slide, please. Okay, I think this is my last slide. So it's a little hard to see, but I do want to mention that London was voted again the best student city in the world for 2022, according to QS, of course. And that is because of all of the resources that it provides its student population. There are about 50 universities in London. There are about 500,000 students studying, and the best time to be in London is as a student because of all of the different resources that are going to be tied to the various universities and their various locations. Specifically with King's, because we are so central, and you can see here this sort of bird's eye view of how we fit into the center of the city. You already saw the Strand campus, and then our 4 campuses south of the river are nestled right south, and then there's one that is 3 miles south of the river in South London. So we're spread out. We're not a single site campus. That's something for you to keep in mind if you're looking for more of a traditional single site, living on campus, walking to campus right from a dorm. That's not exactly going to be the case in London. It's, again, very urban, very rural. There's about 9 million people in London, but we do guarantee housing for first-year students, and those residence halls are not going to be on campus, but they are also going to be the center of the city. So you can walk to your campus that you're taking your classes on from your residence hall. So again, this just lends itself to a very enriching living and learning experience in the heart of the city that comes with being a King's student. So I think that is it for me, but again, I will put my contact info in the chat for you and encourage you to keep in touch. Thank you.
Hey there, my name is Will Abraham. I'm the International Officer for the Americas at Goldsmiths University of London. I am personally based in Brooklyn, New York, but as our title might suggest, we are located in the wonderful, bustling metropolis of London. So Goldsmiths was founded in 1891, and we are a member of the University of London, just like King's before me. We have around 10,500 students on our campus, with Americans being our second largest cohort. About 35% of our students come from outside of the UK, and we have a very diverse population of students, with about 20% of our population identifying as LGBTQ+. About more than half our students are students of color, and we have a very sizable first generation population on campus as well. We've also implemented a Green New Deal several years ago, and we are committing to carbon neutrality by 2025 and net zero emissions by 2030, which would make us the first institution in the UK to achieve both of those goals. We also take pride in our research, and we actually recently were ranked 9th in the UK for our research intensity by the Complete University Guide. And we have over 55 research centers and units on campus that range from our Center for Investigative Journalism to our Center for Postcolonial Studies to our Center for Neuroaesthetics, which is the study of the creative and performing arts and psychology. We also have over 120 different clubs, societies, and sports you can join. Our sports are either intramural or competitive, and societies range from things like the Chocolate Appreciation Society to Hacksmiths, which is our computer science society. We also have extremely influential alumni, and we are a creative powerhouse. We have Turner Prize, the most Turner Prize winners of any other university in the UK, which is the most prestigious art prize in the UK. Likewise, Mercury Prize, Oscar winners, BAFTA Award, Tony Award, and Olivier Award winners among our alumni. So our campus is located about 10 minutes southeast of the city center of London. We have a train station right next to campus there at New Cross Gate, which will take you to Tower Bridge and the Shard. Yeah, like I said, just under 10 minutes. Your residence halls are located on and just off campus, so it's a pretty quick walk to get from your classes to your accommodation. We also are a single site campus, so while it is an extremely urban environment and our neighborhood is very vibrant and bustling, we have a dedicated campus, which includes our College Green, which is also behind me in my background. And we have a public museum on campus, a public movie theater, a gym and tennis courts, and also our Students' Union is a great place for students to congregate between classes or after class. We at Goldsmiths focus on the arts and humanities, of which we are a top 100 university in the world, the social sciences and business and management, of which we're a top 200 university in the world, according to QS. And we also have courses in law, education, social work, things in this nature. 8 of our 18 departments are in the world's top 50 as well. And we also, in the most recent research excellence framework, we're ranked 21st in the UK for the quality, significance, and rigor of our research. And as undergraduates, you'll be expected to perform research from year 1. Like my colleagues in England have already told you, we have 3-year bachelor's degrees in England and typically 1-year master's degrees. So you have the potential to earn both in a 4-year span. We also do have the post-study work visa in the UK, which will allow you to work for up to 2 years after you graduate, which will definitely allow you to either find a permanent work visa or perhaps abridge some time for you to apply to grad school in the UK. And here is a non-exhaustive list of our academic programs. We have around 75 total, but this will give you an idea of the kind of things we have on campus. Some more popular programs that we have are media communications, which includes our screen school and our journalism school. This program is transdisciplinary, so you can do things like radio, television and film, media and advertising, illustration, animation. It really kind of is a wide variety of options. And we're also the largest and oldest media department in Europe. We also are really well known for our art and design courses. Each student will get their own studio space, and you also get one-on-one time each week with your academic tutor. We also have workshops and full-time technicians in them that range from metalworking, plastic working, textiles. We have product and industrial design, fashion design. So it really does range, and students are open to use any kind of medium and form of design they wish. Also, some other cool programs I would say are our electronic music program. So great program if you're looking to get into sound editing or mixing or DJing. Computer science and psychology are also extremely popular programs. as are our business school programs, which last year we were ranked in the top 20 business schools in the Guardian, in the UK in the Guardian. We have also our visual culture and art history departments, of which we're a top 10 university in the world. And you can focus on even a BA in curating if you wish. So how to apply? We require a 3.0 unweighted GPA to apply to Goldsmiths. We have suspended our test requirements this year, but in previous years and probably in the future, we will require test scores again. So in the before, we were test flexible, which means we accepted AP, ACT, SAT, or IB scores. So you could submit 3 APs at a 3 or higher, an ACT score of 27, or an SAT score of 1280 to apply. The priority deadline for UCAS this year is January 26th. Like King's, we are you can only apply through UCAS to Goldsmiths. And some degrees will also require portfolio or audition, like our very amazing music and theater and creative writing and art and design programs. We do offer international scholarships to students that you can apply for after you've been given an offer to study at Goldsmiths. And we do also accept federal and direct loans and plus loans. Regarding accommodation, we do guarantee it for you in the first year. And we offer suite style living with mostly single rooms with ensuite bathrooms. So not as communal as your traditional American dorm living. You'll also share a kitchen and living space with students in your suite. We are self-catered, which means that we have no meal plans on campus. So you'll definitely gain some culinary independence quite quickly. And to wrap up, we place a really large emphasis on careers at Goldsmiths, and 91% of our alumni actually, that stat changed, go into our work or further study in their field within 6 months of graduation. We also offer work placements and internships with the vast majority of our programs. So you will be strongly encouraged to do one while you're at Goldsmiths. And those can be done in London or even abroad. We also have a really high entrepreneurial rate on our campus, with about 14% of our alumni starting their own business within 1 year of graduation. So if you do have an entrepreneurial drive, we have a business incubator on campus and tons of grant opportunities for students to start their own business. Lastly, we also have the 3rd highest number of business founders of any other UK university among our alumni. So the most CEOs and managing director, or 3rd most, I should say. So we, again, do place a really large emphasis on careers and your future at Goldsmiths. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much to all of the representatives from literally across the country and across the globe for joining us this evening. There have been some really wonderful specific questions in the Q&A this evening that I hope have made your college journey and some of your exploration a little bit more clear. One of the questions that I'd love to pose to the group to answer live, because we do not save the Q&A for our families who are not able to access the recording, in terms of how UK or European universities award or evaluate community college credit. We have a really large college going culture in our district, and we have lots of students who definitely take advantage of the fact that they can enroll in community college courses while they're still in high school. Obviously that might differ from campus to campus, but if there's anyone who'd like to give a little bit of insight about how those courses are evaluated for credit or not evaluated for credit, I think that that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I can jump in and say that first and foremost, every university is different. So we're all going to have very different answers to this question. So I would ask each college that you're thinking of transferring into just how many credits they transfer in. You also want to see maybe if your community college is the quarter system, for example, but then the university semester system, just ask about all those policies. With some schools, you might be limited in how many major courses you can transfer in. So generally speaking, you should probably focus on general education or elective classes. And of course, ask the counselor about policies behind the major courses you can transfer in. Some schools may transfer in grades of C or higher, others C- or higher. So also ask which types of grades would transfer or even for classes that maybe aren't academic. So maybe things like internships or like a yoga class, like just ask, can that transfer in as an elective or does it transfer in? So yeah, great question, but it really just depends on the school.
Thanks, Jen. I really appreciate your insight. And I know that some of our other wonderful representatives, Amanda and Ashley and Gabriella, have also answered those in the Q&A for our family. So if anyone wants to elaborate, feel free.
I would just add here that I know, like typically across the UK, it's really going to depend on the program that you're coming to study with us. And it's going to depend on what your dual credits are in, because we don't have GE. I did put this in the chat, but just to kind of add it for the recording, because there's no general education requirements, typically it's really hard to transfer everything. So if you have dual credit, for example, in something like biology, and that's something that you are going to be studying as your major, then we can have that conversation and look at matching the curriculum and seeing if that dual enrollment class does match the curriculum in one of our first year courses, for example. But it is going to be very much case by case and depending on the subject that you're coming to study with us.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate your clarification. Ashley, is there anything you wanted to add?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Amanda hit the nail on the head there. Because of the general education not being a thing in Scotland, it's really difficult for students to use credits to, enter in at an advanced point of entry. But I often say to students, like if they have dual enrollment, to include that on their application, because then we can consider it, as Amanda said, case by case, and we can certainly look at it. But if nothing else, it'll, definitely give us a fuller idea of their academic profile, so we can consider it in terms of entering into year one for sure.
Wonderful. And I completely agree. As someone who's worked on both the higher education side and currently on the high school side, I know that getting a full view of a student's academic experience is a really, really important part of their overall evaluation for admission. So we don't have any additional questions in the Q&A. I just want to say thank you again to all of the representatives who joined us this evening. This was a really thoughtful and comprehensive presentation about what to expect for our students who are interested in studying internationally. So thank you so much. And we really appreciate your time and your effort in being a part of our college fair this year. So have a great evening. Good night, everyone.
Thanks so much.